12 this Thursday morning. Today is the 27th of November, 2025. And this morning, you're joining us on the Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. Welcome to the 16 days of activism. We are on day 3. No, 25, 26. Yes, day 3 of the 16 days of activism. It's a specialized program where we get to raise awareness, mobilize action, and call for the prevention and elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls worldwide. This broadcast is from the 25th of November, which is on Tuesday, to the 10th of December for the next 16 days, basically at 12:05. So you want to do well to always join in the conversation by contributing or reacting to the big question. All right. You can call us on 07000-917-917 or text us on 0703-1756-537. You can also send in your contributions to our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, all the works at WFM917, or log on to our website, www.wfm917.com. Today, on day 3 of the 16 days of activism, we are turning the spotlight on ending digital violence. We'll be looking at the progress made so far, the gaps that still exist, and the crucial steps that need to be taken to create even more safer places for people online, especially for women and for girls. So we're going to be talking solutions, accountability, and the power of collective action, which is something that we talk about every now and again over here at Women Radio. Time right by now, the time is 11 minutes past 12. You're still tuned into Women Radio 91.7 FM. This is the big question. And on the big question today is the 16 days of activism. My name is Fumi Bangala. Okay, let's get into it. Before I bring my guest on, I'll lay a little bit of a foundation. Digital spaces were created, to connect us, but for millions of women and girls, these same spaces have become places of fear, harassment, and abuse. According to the UN Women, nearly 38% of women worldwide have experienced online violence, including cyber stalking, non-consensual image sharing, online threats, impersonation, and targeted hate speech. And because digital violence happens behind the scenes, behind the screens, many survivors also suffer in silence, because how do you come out to say, oh no, it was me, it wasn't me, right? The impact is real. We have anxiety, depression, withdrawal from opportunities, damaged reputations, and in some cases, threats that escalate into offline violence, right? So on today's program, we are focusing on ending digital violence, why it matters, what it looks like, what we must all do to protect women and girls online. With that being said, joining me today is Hawao Kangiwa. I hope I said your name right. She's a gender educators activist. She's from the Gender Educators Initiative, and she's going to be joining us today to have this conversation on. Okay, she's back. I thought we lost her for a second. On our conversation today. Good afternoon, Hawao. Hi, Awahawu. Hi, Hawawu. If you can hear me, you are muted, so we cannot hear you. Hi, Hawawu. If you can hear me, you're muted. We cannot hear you. Okay, while we wait for her to, come online to speak with us, we have to understand that there is no excuse for online abuse. Interestingly, was it yesterday I was watching a podcast where the ladies were talking about how, AI has also been used as a tool to perpetrate violence and abuse on women online, how some people use AI to reimagine a woman's body. They'll put her face on it, and again, it's like your word against them. How do you defend that's not your body, That's not you naked online. Sometimes people hack people's phones to get their private photographs, to get their private videos, and they do all sorts of things to them online. What can start small on screens, maybe a message, a comment, maybe a post, can actually spiral quickly into torrents of threats and violence in real life. Hi, how? If you can hear me, you are muted. If you can unmute yourself, please. I think how our guest this morning is having network issues. Okay, we'll just continue the conversation until she's able to join again. So private photos are stolen, like I said, without consent, lies, and we know that lies are what sell more than the truth, right? They say bad news is what flies quicker. So you see cases where women, their pictures are put online, and they're unable to defend themselves. Like, oh, it's not me, right? Unfortunately, it's hard sometimes to track the locations of these people because AI is weaponized to create deep fakes designed to shame and silence women. So this 16 days of activism is basically Women Radio also joining the world to say we want to rally for a world where technology is a force for equality, is not a force for harm. Think about how when you're online, we say, oh, online internet trolls, online trolls. Yeah, that's part of it. How can we stay safe? How can we stay protected while online? The internet technology is a good tool. It's a very useful tool for us, but how do we use it to protect ourselves online? Let me give you some data. According to the UN Women, 1 in 3 women experience gender-based violence in their lifetime. 1 in 3. Do you know what that means? And then 16 to 58% of women and girls face digital violence. Then we have this one. 90 to 95% of deep fake videos are sexual images of women. Wow. Behind all these statistics are actually real human beings, real women, real girls. We've seen journalists, female journalists who have stopped writing because they were sent death threats. We've seen activists who have deleted their accounts, deactivated their accounts because they want to protect their families. We've seen girls who lose their confidence before they even found one, their voices silenced because of this. And it's happening in such a time where sweeping aid cuts are forcing women's organizations around the world to shut down, or they're even scaling back programs to end violence against women. That is really the need for the 16 days of activism. Hi, Hawa, good afternoon. If you can hear me, we cannot hear you. Can you unmute yourself, please? All right. So how do we move forward while we're waiting for our, how do we take action against, digital violence against women? First of all, you hold them accountable. You hold the perpetrators accountable through better laws and better enforcement. I was on TikTok the other day and I saw, I can't remember, what's her name? There's a lawyer. Her husband is a judge. I think she's a lawyer as well. And she's talking about how they were also threatened online. What did she do? She didn't fight though. She didn't do anything. She got her lawyers, got her tech team. They traced every single bad comment or hate comment or trolling situation to the person's address. And it was because at the end of the day, most of the people, they can only say it behind the screen. If you put them in front of you face to face, they cannot say it. So we hold them accountable through better laws and enforcement of those laws. Then for tech companies, we make them step up by hiring more women to create safe online spaces. Removing harmful content. Hi, Hawawu. Oh dear. Removing online harmful content online as soon as possible, and responding to reports of abuse. And then we should also support survivors with real resources, funding women's rights organizations and movements, investing in them, Also, we need to invest in prevention and culture change through digital literacy and online safety training for women and girls, and programs that challenge toxic environments, toxic cultures. It is time to reclaim our digital spaces and demand a future where technology powers equality. Okay, we have some questions for our guests. We're just waiting for the guests to, get back online. Hi, how I can see that you're having network issues. We're just giving our guest a few minutes to be able to see if she can join. But while that is going on, we'll continue this conversation. So how can we take action? We've already said it. You hold perpetrators accountable. You make tech companies step up by hiring more women. You support survivors with real resources. And then investment, investment, investment. Investment, investment, investment. Very, very, very important. Let's see if our guest has joined. Hi, how are you? Okay, not yet. Okay. What should every woman and every girl know? How can we keep ourselves safe in the digital world? How can we keep ourselves safe online? Because we know that what we've been seeing now. First of all, let me just say that I'm not even a believer in young girls, schoolgirls having phones, but at the same time, I know that there's a need for them to have phones for safety. But where they are more, how do I explain this? They are at risk of digital violence, then it's safe to take those phones from them. But before we get to that point, what are the ways that we can stop this for women? How can women be safe? Number one, if somebody is threatening to share your private photos online, report it immediately. See, digital abuse is the same thing as abuse, and they often start with little things. A partner that is demanding for your password, or a partner that is forcing you to share images that make you feel uncomfortable, a partner that is always checking in on you all the time, almost close to it being obsessive, possessive, controlling, or a person that keeps on sending inappropriate messages to you, or even anonymous comments that make you feel rather uncomfortable or afraid. Those things should set off an alarm. So what should you do? If a person is threatening to share private photos with you, report them. If they have controlling behavior, report them. If they have harassing and abusive comments, report them. Fake or doctored images, report them. Do you understand? Report, 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 report. Okay, if you've spotted these signs and you report it, what should you do? Block. First of all, you block them, and then stop the spread. See, the same AI tools that they're using to to abuse you digitally is the same AI tools that you can use to stop the spread. Also, maybe you know how to do screenshot the image, the link, the timestamp. Make sure you keep a record, because if you then choose to report, this information is very, very, very vital. Also, tell somebody that you trust. Don't be ashamed. It's not The shame is not yours to carry. It's for the perpetrator. Don't carry the perpetrator's shame. No, tell someone you trust. Also, secure your accounts. Thankfully, some social media accounts have been enabling two-factor authentication, which is good. So review your privacy settings, check your devices for spyware, check them for tracking apps. Just make sure that you secure your accounts. Hi, how are you? Have you joined now? Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Okay, but what if you see abuse happening to someone else? Well, do not stay silent, because abuse thrives in secrecy. If the person that is being abused is silent, you that are noticing the abuse, you should not stay silent. Research has shown that when bystanders, when neighbors, when friends who are observing this abuse, when they speak up, when they report harmful behavior, it discourages further attacks. It helps platforms detect abuse even faster. So small actions like reporting, a supportive comment, even on that same post, or sharing a resource with that person. Oh, this is the number you can call. It makes a whole world of difference. My friend has, they say, oh, I built my algorithm brick by brick. Every time I see those things, I'm just like, I get it. For instance, my friend's algorithm, you've not ever seen nonsense on it because she has built it. So it's important that you're able to make your feed safer. You 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 what's the word? You create your feed, right, in a way that benefits you. Most platforms have safety features that let you filter comments. You can see, oh, mute accounts, mute certain words, block abusive accounts, that limits those who can tag you. Yes, use those tools or those features that platforms have created for you. These are designed to give you some form of control. Here's why I say that it's important to note that you cannot blame yourself. Abuse is never your fault. The same way I said you should not take the shame of the abuser. Nope. Don't take the shame of the abuser. Don't take the blame of the abuser. It was never your fault. It wasn't about the picture that you posted. It's not about what you wore. It's not about what you said. It's not about how you posted yourself. The abuse is not your fault. The abuse is for the perpetrator. So leave it with them. The blame is with them. The shame is with them. The responsibility is with them. It's not on you as the survivor. It's not on you as the victim. Okay? There are a lot of laws that are catching up to this reality. Like in Mexico, the law, Olympia recognizes and punishes digital violence. In the US, the Take It Down Act mandates the removal of non-consensual intimate images. In the United Kingdom, the Online Safety Act obliges platforms to protect users from online harm. Hi, Hawao, are you back? Can you unmute yourself if you can hear me? Maybe not. Okay. So your rights vary depending on where you live, but knowledge is power. Okay. You need to be able to know what you are fighting against. Legal recourse, though uneven, can be a critical tool for survivors. So you want to be able to tap into that. And advocacy continues to strengthen protections online. And that's probably what we are doing over here at Women Radio, joining the UN Women to speak on the 16 days of activism against digital violence, to end digital violence against women. Okay, and we say that, oh, there are laws, but the perpetrators must always be held accountable. This is something I always say on the Full Breakfast Show. I say, look, somebody must be scapegoated. If you scapegoat one person, every other person that's online who's abusing people online, who's abusing women and girls online, they will realize that, oh, I cannot afford to do this. Because if you're sent to jail, then you know better, right? So the perpetrators must be held accountable. Platforms must design safety by default, and women and girls everywhere need stronger digital literacy and resilience to recognize and report abuse. Again, if you know someone who's experiencing online harassment or digital abuse, please, 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 please report. Speak up and report on their behalf, because they might be dealing with a lot of things. So speak up and report on their behalf. Online and digital spaces are supposed to empower women. They're supposed to empower girls. And we cannot have a world where girls are at a risk, right, of being abused online. You will be dealing with physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, you not financial abuse, you not add digital abuse. Like, we need to be able to put our foot down and stand against abuse of any sort. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our program and we've been unable to get our guest to join because I think she's having serious network issues, but we have come to the end of the program today. I hope that every single person learned one thing or the other. Please understand that ending digital violence requires intentional action. It requires stronger safeguards and a collective commitment to protecting women and girls in online spaces. As we continue the 16 days of activism, please, 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 let's challenge ourselves to challenge harmful behaviors, to promote digital safety, and to ensure that survivors receive the support that they need to reclaim their voices online. Together, we can create a safer digital world where every woman, every girl can connect, can express themselves, and can thrive without fear or harassment, threats, or abuse. Many thanks to the program's team of Women Radio for putting this together, and to the executive producer, Tom Okiwale Shanaya, for also producing the show today. With that being said, many thanks for listening. Join us tomorrow again at 12:05 as we continue our 16 days of activism to end digital violence against women. Many thanks for listening. My name once again is Fumi Bangala. Remember to speak up when you see a woman in danger of violence or of abuse. We still have great, amazing shows for you on Women Radio 91.7, so do not go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. All right, God bless.
UFM 81.7.